In this video, we have 4 different tempered glass screen protectors made by ZAGG for the brand new Galaxy S25 Ultra. ZAGG makes claims that some of these screen protectors are actually stronger than others, but do we really know if that's actually true? And is there really any difference between the scratch resistance and the drop protection? Well, that's what we're going to figure out in this video. We're going to be doing a full installation. We're going to see how they fit, how they feel, how well they work with the in-display fingerprint sensor and the S Pen. And I'm also going to be testing out the durability with a drop and a scratch test, and you're definitely not going to want to miss that. And if you guys do end up wanting to pick up any of these screen protectors, I will be putting product links in the video description. So let's get started. Here we have ZAGG's Glass Plus tempered glass screen protector. It's supposed to be 3 times stronger than regular tempered glass. This is the cheapest ZAGG screen protector. Looks like we get an installation guide, 1 screen protector, and some installation wipes. So first we need to thoroughly clean off our screen with our alcohol wipe. Then we'll dry it off. Then take your phone and we're going to put it inside the guide here, making sure where it says top, the camera portion of your phone is going. So we'll just drop it in like this. Then we can kind of press it down with our wipe to make sure that it's in the guide the way that it needs to be. Then take your screen protector, making sure that the camera cutout is going towards the camera on the phone, and this sticker here is on the underside of the protector. We're going to peel that off. Then we need to put the holes on the posts of the guide, making sure the screen protector does not touch the screen yet. Then once it's in place, just press down in the middle of the screen protector, and it should start to adhere to the screen, as you can see there. Then once it's done adhering, we can peel off the top protector, take the phone out of the guide, and we'll take a look at our screen. So we do have a little bubble in the corner here, but I think I can just push that out with my fingers. Yep, it just disappeared. There is something, it looks like, on the screen. I don't know if you guys can see, it's this like this right there, that line. There's like a line in the screen protector. It doesn't look like lint. I think it's something on the screen, like on the inside. I'm not quite sure. Just looks, I don't know, it's maybe something with the adhesive got marked up somehow, but other than that, the screen looks pretty good. I don't see any lifting, no bubbles. We also do have a gap all the way around the screen for case compatibility. And again, we do have that cutout for our front camera. As far as the touch, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. The edges are also rounded off. And as far as fingerprints goes, it does pick up some smudges on the screen here, but really not bad at all, and you can very easily just wipe those away. Let's take a look at our screen. Screen looks nice and clear. No issues with touch. Seems to be working just fine. Let's take a look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. Let's see if there's any rainbow effect. And there is a slight bit of rainbow effect if you're not looking at it dead on. But if you're looking at it normally, you should see no rainbow. But if you start to turn it, you can kind of see that rainbow effect start to come on the screen. But definitely not as bad as I've seen. So let's test out our fingerprints. Not too bad. Fingerprints are working, but they're a little slow. So let's re-input our fingerprints. So I had a couple issues with putting my fingerprints in, but I was able to successfully complete it. Now let's test it out. Definitely more quicker now. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're having issues with your fingerprints, I would definitely recommend re-registering them after you install the screen protector, and maybe also turning up the screen sensitivity. It should help with the recognition. Now let's test out our S Pen. See if we can draw a straight line on the screen here. Line looks pretty straight to me. As far as the experience with the S Pen, there is a little bit more of resistance versus some of the other tempered glass screen protectors that I've tested. So you may or may not like that. The S Pen does seem to be working fine with the screen. Again, the only thing is there seems to be more resistance with this screen protector versus some of the other ones. And let's see if there's any screen bleed from the side here. So it does look like there's a little bit of screen coming through the side of the screen protector. And on this side too. It's not horrible, but it is there. And let's put this in one of our cases. And it seems to fit this case perfectly. We do have a slight gap on the bottom of the screen and on the top, and it almost comes right up to the edges of the case on the sides, but I don't see any bubbles. I don't see any lifting. Everything seems to be good, so the screen protector should be compatible with most cases. Again, you can see some of the smudges on the screen from my hands, but they very easily just wipe away. And then here you can see with my studio light that there is no anti-reflective coating on this screen protector. So everything's looking pretty good so far. Now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. So for this test, we're going to be dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, we'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go, 2 feet. Moving on to 3 feet. Go. 4 feet. 5 feet. Go. There's a mark, but there's no crack yet. 6 feet. 'No crack yet. 7 feet. 7 feet. So I'm definitely impressed. This tempered glass screen protector lasted up until a 7-foot drop. Now, even though there was a little marking on the screen, it did not crack until the 7-foot mark. So now I'm pretty excited to see what the other stronger ZAGG screen protectors can do. But for now, let's move on to the scratch test. So regular tempered glass starts to scratch around a Mohs hardness number 6. So we're going to start off with the number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then finally a number 7. So if we take a look at the screen, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are light at a number 6 and a little deeper at a number 7. So the scratch resistance for this tempered glass screen protector is no better than regular tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was really easy. There was that little hairline mark at the top of the screen. It wasn't horrible and you couldn't really see it unless you were really looking for it. It also does seem to be case friendly. It lasted up until a 7-foot drop. Scratch resistance is standard for tempered glass. It also seems to work well with the in-display fingerprint sensor as well as the S Pen. Here we have the ZAGG Fusion tempered glass screen protector. It's made of a flexible polymer hybrid that's supposed to be unbreakable. We'll find out. We get an installation guide. We get one installation packet with some wipes and one tempered glass screen protector. Oh, and we also get a squeegee with this one. So now I understand why they said that feels like glass, because this does seem like a film screen protector. You can see that there's really no, rigid portions of this film. It's just, it seems like plastic. Now there might be some glass sandwiched in here, but this is a very flexible screen protector and it's not like regular tempered glass. So again, the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off our screen with the alcohol wipe. Then we'll dry it off. Then take your installation tray, making sure that the top is going towards the camera on your phone. We're just going to drop our phone inside the guide and then press down with your wipe to make sure it's seated in place. Then take your screen protector, making sure that this sticker is on the underside and the little cutout for the camera is going towards the camera on your phone. We're going to peel off the underside protector. Then we're going to put the post on the guide through the holes on the protector, making sure the protector does not touch your phone's screen right away. Have to redo this. It touched the screen, of course, because the other side wouldn't go on the posts. So we're going to try this again. It just doesn't fit right. It seems like it's like too short to fit over the posts properly, and it's not fitting right. So I'm just gonna have to manually kind of eyeball this, and we'll push this down in the middle, and it just doesn't want to adhere to your screen. So we're gonna use, that's why they give you a squeegee. So I'll just kind of squeegee this out this way. There's really nothing that I could do. The screen protector was touching the glass on the phone the minute that I was trying to put it down. So that just didn't help. And then I'm trying to squeegee this out the best that I can. And we'll see what it looks like. Take off the top protector. And we do have a little bubble, some bubbles there. We'll try to get those out with the squeegee. All right, so I did the best that I could. When I was installing it, it's not rigid like a tempered glass screen protector. So when the film was laying down over the screen, it wouldn't go over the back posts on the guide, and it laid down on the screen of the phone. So there was nothing that I could do to try to make it not do that. It's not rigid, so it doesn't stay flat. It kind of sags, and it touched my screen, and now we have these little, like, it looks like palm prints on the screen. But I did manage to get it down on the phone. Definitely wasn't the easiest installation by far, but I did get it down, and for the most part I kind of got these bubbles out. So as far as the touch, it's got a little bit of resistance to it. It's not as smooth as glass, which I don't like. The edges are kind of sharp. They're not rounded off because, again, this does seem like a film screen protector. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to do a pretty good job at rejecting fingerprints. You can see there's not a lot of smudges on the screen. There is a little bit of resistance when you're wiping off the screen as well, but it does seem to wipe away cleanly. You can also see there is no anti-reflective coating on this screen protector. Let's test out what the screen looks like. There is also a cutout for the camera, so you don't have to worry about your selfies. There is also a slight gap all the way around the phone. Now my screen protector is a little off because, again, I couldn't install it properly on the guide, so it's a little misaligned. You can see that the screen is crystal clear, and touch seems to be working perfectly fine. Again, it's got a little bit of resistance, which I don't like. I like the slickness of regular glass. Let's test out our fingerprints. Fingerprints seem to be working well, though. Yeah, so fingerprints are working perfectly fine. Now let's see what the screen looks like as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see that there is a pretty good rainbow effect even when you're looking at the screen dead on. And then if you twist and turn the phone, the rainbow just gets worse. So definitely not the best screen protector for polarized sunglasses. So if you're not going to be using a case and you're going to run your finger up the bottom to try to swipe home, you will catch your finger on the bottom of the screen protector. Like I mentioned, it's not rounded off, so it's got some sharp edges. I'm not going to even bother to see if there's any screen bleed because the screen protector is already misaligned. It's off to the right side a lot. You can see a lot of, the gap on the left side versus the right. So I'm not going to even worry about screen bleed because it's not aligned properly. Let's test out our S Pen. Make a straight line here. Looks like a pretty straight line to me. As far as the experience with the S Pen, it's got a lot of resistance. Definitely not a good experience if you're going to be using the S Pen a lot. It seems to work fine with the screen protector, but like I mentioned, it's got a lot of resistance, and I would think that resistance would wear down the tip of the S Pen a lot quicker than if the screen was smooth. And then we'll put it in our case just to see. Like I mentioned before, it's already misaligned, but for the most part, I don't see any lifting or bubbles. It seems to still fit, even though there's a misalignment on the left-hand side here and really nothing on the edge of the screen. So I would venture to say, just like the other ZAGG screen protector, that this would be case compatible with most other cases. And then if we take a look at the screen, you can also see that I don't see any markings due to the S Pen either. It's not a very rubbery type of screen protector. It is pretty solid. So if you run your S Pen over it, you shouldn't get any markings, which is definitely a plus. So besides some of the downsides of the screen protector already, I'm going to move on and I'm going to test out the durability with a drop and a scratch test. Now, I'm not expecting this to crack at all because it doesn't seem like it's glass, but we're going to test it out anyway. And I'm also curious to see how well this comes off the phone too, because it wasn't easy to pull up when it got stuck to the screen. So I'm going to try to peel this off. In here. So not too bad. It doesn't leave any residue on the screen. So again, for this test, we're going to be dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. I'm not expecting the screen protector to do much at all except for maybe kind of dent, because it doesn't seem like it's glass. It seems like a film screen protector, but again, we're going to test it out anyway. So here we go, 2 feet. Nothing there. Moving on to 3 feet. 4 feet. 5 feet. 'Nothing yet. 6 feet. 'Nothing yet. 7 feet. 'No, it's definitely, I can feel a dimple on the screen, but like I mentioned before, it's not going to crack because it's made of film, so it's just going to deform, and that's pretty much it. 8 feet. 'Yeah, it's just deforming the plastic. And finally, 9 feet. Now, even though I did a drop test up to 9 feet and it didn't crack, we can't put this up to tempered glass screen protectors because this screen protector is not going to crack. It's not made of glass. It's made of a plastic polymer. So all that's going to happen is it's going to deform like you see here. And because it's on this, hard quartz, nothing's going to happen to the quartz underneath. And now if you had this on your phone and we did a drop test up to 9 feet, the screen on the phone probably would have cracked and the screen here would have just deformed. So we cannot compare this to a drop test versus a tempered glass screen protector. So now let's move on to the scratch test. Now for regular tempered glass, you typically won't see it start to scratch until a Mohs hardness number 6. But since this isn't glass, we're going to start off with the number 2, which is simply a plastic tip. Then we'll move on to a number 3, which is copper. And you can see that it already starts to scratch pretty deeply. So I'm not going to even go any further than that. So the scratch resistance for this screen protector is a lot lower than regular tempered glass. So the installation for this screen protector was not easy. Like you saw in the video, it was very hard to keep the screen protector from sagging and touching the screen, which caused it to get this marking on the underside of the adhesive, and I couldn't properly align it. But I would venture to say that it should be case friendly with most cases. The drop test is pretty much null and void because it's only a film screen protector. Scratch resistance is also pretty bad at only a 3, but it does seem to work well with the in-display fingerprint sensor and the S Pen, but again, there is a significant resistance when using the S Pen. And here we have the ZAGG Glass Elite tempered glass screen protector. It's supposed to be 5 times stronger than regular tempered glass. We get our installation tray, we get 1 screen protector, and we also get our installation wipes. So again, clean off your screen thoroughly with the alcohol wipe. Then we'll dry it off. Then take your installation tray, making sure that the top here is going towards the camera on your phone. We'll take our phone and drop it into the tray, and then just press it down with your wipe to make sure that it's seated properly. Then take your screen protector, making sure that the camera cutout is going towards the camera on your phone, and this white sticker is on the underside of the screen. We're going to peel that off. Then we're going to place the holes over the posts on the guide, making sure the screen protector does not touch your phone's screen yet. Then just press down in the middle of the screen, and it should start to adhere to your phone. And once that's done, we can peel off the top protector and take the phone out of the guide. And it looks like we do have a slight bubble right here. I'm going to try to push that out with my finger. Not a problem. Everything else looks pretty good. We do have, again, the cutout for our camera. There is also a pretty good gap all the way around the phone for case compatibility. As far as touch, super smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. It does look like I got a piece of hair in the side of the glass here, and you guys can see that, but that's my fault. The edges are also rounded off. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to do a pretty good job at rejecting fingerprints. There's only slight smudges. You can very easily just wipe those away. Let's take a look at our screen. The screen is crystal clear. Touch seems to be working just fine. No issues there. It's nice and smooth. I really like that. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see when looking at it directly on, there's no rainbow effect. But if we turn it a little bit, there is a slight rainbow. Not bad at all, though. Definitely a lot better than some of the other screen protectors I've looked at. Now let's test out our fingerprints. Fingerprints also seem to be working out pretty well. Yeah, so if you're having problems with your fingerprints, just re-register them after you install the screen protector and maybe turn up the sensitivity for the screen. Now let's see if there's any screen bleed from the sides of the glass here. It does seem like there is a slight bit. You can see right there. It's also like a rainbow effect on the edges of the glass. On the other side, you can see that there is just a tiny bit of screen bleed as well. Let's put this in our case. And it seems like it fits the case perfectly. We do have a bigger gap on the top of the screen here versus the other sides and the bottom, but I don't see any lifting, no bubbles, so it should be compatible with most cases. You can also see that this screen does not have an anti-reflective coating either. So now let's test out our S Pen, make our straight line. Looks pretty good to me. And as far as our S Pen experience, seems to work pretty well. There is a slight bit of resistance when you're drawing on the screen, but other than that, I don't see any issues. So everything's looking pretty good for this screen protector. Now let's test out the durability with a drop and a scratch test. So again, we're going to be dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, we'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go, 2 feet. 2 feet. So here is a prime example where a manufacturer says that the screen protector is supposed to be stronger, but in testing, it's actually not. This screen protector only lasted up until a 2-foot drop, whereas the first screen protector we tested lasted up until a 7-foot drop. And that screen protector was the cheapest screen protector that ZAGG sells. So I'm not super impressed with the drop protection, but let's move on to the scratch test. So regular tempered glass starts to scratch around the Mohs hardness number 6, and this screen protector is supposed to have better scratch protection than that. So we're going to start off our test with the number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then finally a number 7. Alright, so if we take a closer look at this screen, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are light at a number 6 and deeper with a little crack at number 7. So scratch resistance for this screen protector is definitely not any better than regular tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was super easy. It also does seem to be case friendly. It only lasted up until a 2-foot drop, which is definitely not 5 times stronger than regular tempered glass. Scratch resistance also is not any better than regular tempered glass itself, as it still scratches at a Mohs hardness number 6, but it does seem to work well with the in-display fingerprint sensor and the S Pen. And here we have the ZAGG Fusion XTR4 tempered glass screen protector. This is supposed to be their most advanced hybrid polymer screen protector yet. Feels like glass, supposed to be unbreakable, and it's got a blue light filter and an anti-reflective coating. So we get our installation tray, which seemed to get what feels like a squeegee, and some wipes, and one film screen protector. So again, this is not glass. It's just simply a flexible film. Again, there might be some glass sandwiched in between the plastic, but this is pretty much just like the regular Fusion. So first we're going to clean off our screen with our alcohol wipe. Then we'll dry it off. Then take your installation tray, making sure that where it says top goes towards the camera on your phone. And then we're going to put our phone inside the tray. Press down on the bottom of the phone with your wipe so it's seated in place. Then take your screen protector, making sure that the camera cutout is going towards the camera on your phone. And we're going to peel off the underside protector. Now for this, I'm going to hold on to the wings, and I'm going to try to not let the screen protector touch the phone screen. See if we can stretch out these guides. Okay, so that worked better than it did before. It's not actually touching the screen. So the way that you want to install this is hold on to these wings and kind of stretch them out over the posts on the guide before the screen protector has a chance to sag and touch your phone. Then you're going to take your squeegee. We're going to start from the bottom, put it at the very bottom of the phone, and just squeegee up towards the top. Then we'll remove the top protector and take our phone out of the guide and take a look. So of course I did get a little bit of dust underneath the screen here. I could try to lift that up a little bit to get that out, but I think I'm probably just going to end up leaving it. Try to get out these bubbles. Installation wasn't horrible, but it's definitely a lot better on a tempered glass screen. The edges of this are not rounded off. Your fingers catch a little bit on the edges. There is also a slight gap all the way around the phone for case compatibility. We do have our cutout for our camera. As far as touch, it's fairly smooth. Maybe just a slight bit of resistance, but for the most part, it's pretty smooth. And as far as fingerprints, it does seem to do a pretty good job at rejecting fingerprints. There's only slight markings on the screen. So let's see what the screen looks like. Screen looks nice and clear. Touch seems to be working perfectly fine. No issues there. Now let's take a look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And looking at the screen dead on, you might get a slight tinge of yellow. And if we turn it, you can see that the rainbow effect gets a little bit worse. Not horrible, it's kind of like a pastel rainbow, but it definitely is there. Now the screen protector does have blue light filtration and a anti-reflective coating. So let's take a look at the anti-reflective coating here. So it seems to do a pretty good job. I'll put up a comparison between the regular S25 Ultra screen next to the ZAGG, and we'll see if there's any difference in the anti-reflective coatings. So now let's test out our fingerprints. Fingerprints also seem to be working pretty well. Yeah, and if you're having any issues with your fingerprints, just re-register them after you install the screen protector and maybe turn up the sensitivity for the display as well. Now let's take a look at the screen alignment, see if there's any screen bleed on the side here. And you can already see that there is a slight bit of bleed. Just a little tiny bit, not horrible. Test that on this side. And it looks like the same on this side as well. So let's put our phone inside of our case. And it seems to fit the phone case pretty good here. I don't see any bubbles. I don't see any lifting. We do have a bigger gap on the top of the screen here versus the sides and the bottom. But again, not horrible. So it should be compatible with most cases. Now let's test out our S Pen. See if we can make a straight line here. Seems to be pretty straight. As far as the S Pen experience on the screen, there is a good bit of resistance, more than a regular tempered glass. It's not horrible, but it's slightly more resistance than regular tempered glass. But I think you should have a pretty good experience if you're going to be using an S Pen with this screen protector. But I definitely think you should have a pretty good experience using the S Pen with the screen protector. Now I'm not going to do a drop test because we already know what the results are going to be like. If you want to see that, just watch the ZAGG Fusion screen protector because it's exactly like this one. It's not made of glass, it's kind of made like a plastic type material. But I will do a scratch test. So again, regular tempered glass starts to scratch around a Mohs hardness number 6, but since this is not glass, we're going to start off with the lowest, which is a number 2, and it's just a simply plastic tip. Then we'll move on to a number 3, which is a copper tip. And you can see that the screen already really deeply scratches at the number 3. So scratch resistance for this screen protector is not nearly as good as regular tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector isn't the easiest. It's not the hardest. You just have to really be careful when you're installing that screen protector so it does not touch the screen, because once it does, it's just going to ruin the whole screen protector. It also does seem to be case friendly. It doesn't have any drop resistance because it is a film screen protector. Scratch resistance is also not the best because it's scratched at a level 3, but it does seem to work well with the in-display fingerprint sensor and the S Pen, and it's also got some anti-reflective properties as well. So now let's test out the blue light filtration for this screen protector. Here I have a card that reacts to blue light. So we're going to put the screen protector over that, and we're going to shine some blue light onto the card and see if there's any effect. Now, if there's any effect on the card will turn like a darker purple. And it kind of looks like this, the card is reacting, which tells me that the blue light filtration is not really that great for the screen protector. So if we take a look, you can see that the card has turned a little purple, and you can see the FlowLab name on it. And I'll show you what happens when we use it without any blue light filtration. You can see that the card will turn like a dark purple. So you can see that the filtration of this screen protector for blue light is not that great, because if it was, this little card here should not have any effect whatsoever, but it actually did. So that's another downside to the blue light filtration that ZAGG says this screen protector has. So what did we learn from all this testing? It's definitely that even though a manufacturer says that one of their screen protectors is, 5 to 10 times stronger than regular tempered glass, that's not always the case in real life scenarios. So just because the screen protector says it's better and it's more expensive doesn't mean that it's any better than some of the cheaper screen protectors that manufacturer sells. And in my testing here, as you saw, the best screen protector was also the cheapest, and that was the Glass Plus. I personally would definitely recommend staying away from all of the Fusion screen protectors because those are not tempered glass. They're not going to have as good drop protection and scratch resistance. So if you're going to choose any one of these screen protectors, I would just go with the cheapest one, which was the Glass Plus. It seemed to perform the best. But I'm curious to know what's most important for you when you guys are looking for a screen protector for your phone. Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys do want to pick these up again, I will be putting product links in the video description. And if you guys enjoyed the video, it would really help out the channel if you gave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.